Many people say home is where the heart is. But my grandmother taught me that home is what you make it.
I'm just trying to figure out why they won't let me meet my parents. I mean, I am just so tired of being treated like a baby. Man, I can't wait until I graduate.
The time has come.
Time for what, baby?
Nellie's been asking about her mother.
No, she's not ready for that. I don't want that baby hurt.
Have you heard from my mom?
Liz.
Oh my Lord. And our family, we are small but mighty.
Now, do you think you can speak to Mr. Kearney for me? And does Nellie even know that I'm trying to see her?
I have to choose my time wisely to talk about your son. But keep the faith.
Well, thank you for your help anyway, Miss Liz.
Oh, I haven't done anything yet. I don't want to lose a good friend.
You cannot stop me from seeing Nellie.
Well, I got 9 hot ones and a whole lot of land that says that I can.
He ought to be scared.
And you ought to be shamed.
Man, I'm not trying to hear this in my home. How you hurry up with this foolishness?
Hello?
Hello, Ever? Suffering is a part of life. But God gives us scripture to get through.
You will never get to my Nellie.
Or Coretta to some. Welcome to Just One Touch podcast. I'm waiting. We're going to start our show in a moment with our guests. We have a special guest today. Come on. We're waiting. I welcome you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for sharing. Please share and follow and like. Share, follow, and like. And tell someone about it. Share it. And let someone know that we are up. We're going to be starting in a moment. I am so excited about my guests today. Okay, let's get started. We're going to go right into the program. Love you. God bless you. See you afterwards. Hello. Welcome to Just One Touch. This is Minister Rand Coretta for those that know me, and I am so honored to have my special guest today, Dr. Stacey Deering. Dr. Stacey Deering. And she's one who has achieved greatly in our community as an African American, and I wanted to express and show those who are achieving in our current African American community and who are making history. Now, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Deering. How are you, Dr. Deering?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for having me this evening. I really appreciate you thinking of me.
How would one explain who you are? Can you please describe yourself to those who may not know who Miss Stacey Deering or Dr. Deering is?
Oh, this is a fun question. I do operate highly in humility. I am a very much so down to earth Detroit born and raised city girl. I love my city, born and raised in Detroit all of my life. Public school alumni. I love my black community and our culture. I love Detroit's rich culture. We are a renaissance, a black mecca. We have such rich history. People come to Detroit to, participate in our history. We've been known as Motown, the Motor City, and even the Renaissance City. So personally, I think that has kind of shaped who I am. Of course, I am first and foremost a child of God. I come from very humble beginnings. My parents both were very hardworking entrepreneurs as well as blue collar workers. They were hustling to make their dreams come true, which was part of my inspiration growing up. A lot of my family members believe that I am self motivated and ambitious in that I am the super nerd of the family. No one has really chosen this particular journey. I am the first doctor in my family on both sides, my maternal and my paternal side. But all in all, I love being a black woman, even though we go through a lot of adversity. I love the history, our culture. I've had many conversations with my grandmother to understand the dynamics. She was born in Jim Crow, Alabama, Jim Crow, South Alabama. So she came through the trenches. I've seen a lot of things. I've witnessed history. I love hip hop culture. I love to integrate it when I'm teaching and educating. I love urban history. I am an urban scholar. I love spending time with my family and friends and making priceless memories. And I am through and through a sneakerhead. You will see Dr. D from the 313 in a fresh pair of Nikes on any given day, whether it is Sunday or Friday. I do love my Nikes. I also have a very special love for mentoring the youth and being relatable. And that's because growing up, oftentimes we were getting information from our elders. It was great wisdom, but we felt like they were out of touch in a sense, right? So I love being able to connect to the generations coming behind me and also be a sense of comfort and inspiration for my peers. So all in all, I am a cool nerd that loves great sneakers, hip hop music, a good concert, and I love serving in all capacities, whether I'm serving in the kingdom or if I'm serving in the classroom.
Darren, that's awesome. Grandparents are a very important part of uh, our lives. I know I grew up with my grandparents and they influenced me a lot. But one thing I want to ask you is you are a pillar in the community. And as that, how did you decide to go into the uh, action of being a political advocator and educator? How did you decide to go into this area of politics?
I almost want to say that this area chose me. So, fun fact. When I was probably in the first or second grade, I used to love watching court shows. So I was watching like The People's Court, Matlock, Murder She Wrote, just all type of mysteries, right? Most kids are watching Looney Tunes, Tiny Toon Adventures. I was watching that too, but I really developed this love for law and like advocacy and justice. And also because I went to what would be considered a Afrocentric elementary school, Culminating Young Elementary, where we studied Black history a lot. It intrigued me. The fight, the quest, the tenacity, the resilience that my ancestors showcased all the way to, my grandparents, my great grandparents, it just kind of inspired me. So I thought at age 8 that I was going to be like this amazing judge, maybe a civil rights attorney. This was just my thought process, right? As young Stacey. But as I journeyed through my academic career, I did not feel like I was walking in my passion and purpose in the field of law. I was working as a paralegal in corporate America. I was doing corporate law, like product liability. I was actually in law school. And while the subjects were intriguing, it was not matching well with my passion, my advocacy. I felt like I wasn't maximizing my potential. And corporate America just was not gelling well with my spirit, right? No diss to corporate, it just was not meshing with what I believe God really wanted me to do. So I truly had this passion for advocacy where I always wanted to help elevate, empower, and educate my community. And while I was pursuing higher education, and that bell went off, I reflected to some conversations my father and I had. So my father was actually a mentor. He did a lot of philanthropy work. He mentored young Black men. He was an activist. He was even a junior Black Panther back in the day and told me stuff that happened in Detroit 67 riots, right? So it was more than likely already kind of in my bloodline just to kind of flow and come outward. But the moment happened while I was sitting in a classroom, and I decided to switch gears, and instead of going the law school route, I wanted to go the advocacy route. So I took up nonprofit management, local government, because I really wanted to have a better understanding of how government works. Because every time a real change happened in our society, it was between policies and the court. So I found the commonality there and decided to work my way through being in advocacy by understanding how government works, policy formation, and doing advocacy and coalition building work. So that is why I chose to pursue higher education in political science and public policy, because policies actually shape and affect our everyday quality of life. And that is how you perpetuate and lock in change. We can do all the organizing and all the marching, that's cool. But until that gets locked into writing into some type of law, policy, or program, is more so a act and not a change. So that's pretty much inspired me and set me on this path.
During your time as a fighter for equality for your people, as a professor, what are some moments that really touched you, or that you remember that helped those that you have impacted?
I have a few. So I am actually embarking my 10-year anniversary as a professor next year. So in 2026 in the fall, it'll officially be 10 years since I have been Professor D. So every semester I have great moments with my students. So I teach urban politics, that is my forte. So 3 moments I'll give you. The first moment would be during the 2020 election cycle, which was a historic year because it was the 100-year anniversary of women's right to vote, so the women's suffrage movement. I was actually working on a great project and exhibit at the Charles Wright African American Museum in Detroit, right by Wayne State's campus. There was a Voting Matters exhibit. I was able to do a lot of virtual tours and educational segments helping people understand the power of the Black vote and why our power is so prophetic. And what I mean by that is it's been challenged the most in our history as an American country. Our right to vote has been very much so challenged. So helping people understand the significance of the Black voice. So that was one. So students, peers, community. Second would be during this 2024 election cycle, which was also historic for several reasons, right? Teaching my students and helping my students understand why their voice matters. A lot of them were first time voters. And so understanding the electoral college, right? And then understanding their vote and why their voice matters, and understanding the history that led up to these moments where we potentially would have had our first Black female president. That could have happened, right? It could have, but it didn't. Right. But just understanding the dynamics, right? And then the next step would be that was powerful was when my students come to me and say, you know what, Dr. D, your knowledge or passion has helped me solidify my major. I want to major in political science, or I want to pursue higher education. I'm going to get my master's. Can you write me a letter of recommendation? I'm going to law school because I want to be a future senator. Can you write me a letter of recommendation? Can you be my mentor? So those have been great full circle moments for me because I am the only Black political science professor at Eastern Michigan University.
Oh, wow.
So they don't get to see people who look like them often, my minority students, right? So that is one of my passions for staying in education, is being that representation that I didn't get to see either, for them, to help them understand, and me being culturally responsive to their journey and how they're going through their academic careers.
Okay, so the great thing about it, you said something. You said you are the only are you the only African American faculty there, or are you the only
in the political science department? I'm the only Black faculty member in the political science department at Eastern currently, besides our department head, which she doesn't teach right now because she has so much going on. So I'm the only active faculty member in our political science department that is African American at Eastern Michigan University.
That is awesome. Now, my last and final question for you is, as an African American woman, that's one. What inspirational points, inspiring points can you leave to those young ladies that may be watching someone uh, generations later after we are older, generations later? What can you leave for those who will see this video or see this interview? What inspirational points, an encouragement that you would like to leave to those that we may not see in the future?
Okay, so first I would like to say that knowledge is power. That proverb is infallible, remains supreme, and remains true. Also, no one can ever take your education from you. I don't care what type of laws, policies, unethical, illegal practices they try to engage in. No one can ever take your education or your credentials from you. So, in your quest to be great and in your destiny for greatness, continue pushing through, understanding that adversity is normal for us. We've been champions of adversity for 500 years, for generations to come. We were doing it before they can put it in the history books, men and women, right? So understand that our bloodline is destined for greatness, resilience, and tenacity, and that anything that you put your mind to, you can do it. Our ancestors did it with way less accessibility, support, and parameters. They risked their lives to do it. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears shed. And the seeds that we're sowing today is so that you can run. We walked, planted all the seeds, toiled in the soil so that you can run. So we're setting foundations so that you can continue building on those and the legacy can continue going. No matter how they try to erase history, it cannot be erased. We have been conquerors, we have been champions, and we will continue to do so. Continue to walk in your passion and purpose because God has already set it in stone. It's already written. And I do believe that Black women are the unicorns because we specifically carry the backs of a lot of change. We're change agents. We shift generations. We break cycles and curses. So I believe that Black women, the 92% that showed up in 2024, will continue to be great, to be trailblazers and change agents. So I wear my Black African American woman crown as a badge of honor, and I would love for you to do the same.
That is an awesome word of encouragement. I want to honestly commend you for being the front runner right now. You're making history in current time, and it is a wonderful thing to see African American women and men representing the way that we should represent. Because the fight was long. You know, I was speaking to someone, and I told them Martin Luther King laid a seed. He showed us how to fight. He was a fighter. During that time that they were fighting for our rights, that they were a tree. But their leaves began to fall, and that was generations uh, after them, and they showed examples of being fighters. And now it is our turn to be fighters and be able to continue being examples of what's important for what we are to represent. And so I'm honored. I thank you so much for being a part of this, because we have to now begin to be examples, being representations, pouring into our young people so that they know that the fight must continue. So thank you, Dr. Daring, for this. Thank you. And I appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you as well, and God bless you as well. Thank you for the opportunity and the platform.
What an awesome, awesome interview. So proud to have had an opportunity to talk to our guests today. Appreciate you joining me today. If you would like to support this endeavor, the